So another interesting application of trigonometry is the idea of navigation and getting your bearings according to a compass. Now, there's actually two ways of doing this, and here's sort of a typical way that's presented in textbooks called a fixed line of sight method. And the fixed line of sight method works like this. If you're looking at your compass, whether you're looking along the line of sight to the north or to the south or to the east or the west, we compare whatever object we're looking at in terms of degrees from that line of sight. So, for example, if I'm standing on the bridge of my yacht and I'm looking out there at my compass and I see north along my line of sight and I see another ship or let's say a buoy is out there floating around here. Let me draw a little buoy here, a little flag sticking out of the top, right? And we see that buoy standing out there at about 20 degrees from our line of sight. We would say that that buoy was sighted at a north 20 degrees east. In other words, the first gives you your line of sight, north, south, east, or west, and tells you how many degrees to go either to the east or the west of wherever you're looking. And this says 20 degrees to the east. So we're comparing it to this up and down line right here, this north-south line, and we're looking at it from the north and the south east right here. And we'll make it a green buoy since he might be heading in. Red right returning. There we go. And green left departing. Okay, so let's go. Privately owned yacht leaves a dock, heads south at a bearing of 14 degrees south, 14 degrees east. The yacht averages a speed of 20 knots for a 428 nautical mile trip. By the way, a knot, right, when we say 20 knots, the word knots actually means nautical miles per hour. So 20 nautical miles per hour, right? So we can express in nautical miles a trip. How far is east and south is the yacht from port? Just 12 hours if it continues along this course. Well, all right, so what does that mean for us? If we pull out from our port here, pull out from the dock, and we just go straight out in a line that is south 14 degrees east. We mean that if we were to look at our line of sight north and south right here, here's south. So we're going to go 14 degrees to the east to get our direction. So 14 degrees east. So here's our trip so far, right? And so we've gone 12 hours along this course of south 14 degrees east, right? And so we have an angle of 14 degrees in here. What we're asking in this question is how far south have we gone from the port as compared to the port? So how far south, x nautical miles south, and how far east? How far east? Don't put this here in purple. We want to say, well, how many? I'll call it y nautical miles east, right? How could we figure that out? Well, first thing we have to do is figure out our distance. If we're saying we've gone 20 nautical miles per hour as a constant, as an average rate of speed, and we've gone 12 hours, then that means we have in that 12 hours traveled 240 nautical miles. So if we want to take this sort of out of its natural environment right here, we're looking at a right triangle. A right triangle here. Let me draw it over here. In which the hypotenuse is 240 nautical miles, and our angle 14 degrees could be enclosed here, 14 degrees here, right? And our distance x nautical miles south, y nautical miles east can be found using this ratio. What does that mean? Okay, so our hypotenuse right here of 240, we say, well, if I want to find how far east I've gone, then I could take my distance y and divide it by my distance along the hypotenuse of 240 nautical miles and say that's equal to the sine of that 14-degree angle. So to find y, I'll take 240 times the sine of my 14-degree angle. Working that out, I find that I have gone 58.06 nautical miles east. All right, so how about south? Well, let's find out how far south I've gone by doing the same sort of setup, only in this case, we could say that the cosine of that 14-degree angle is the ratio of our distance x, nautical miles south, divided by 240. So solving for x, I take 240, multiply it by the cosine of my 14-degree angle, and you can verify that you get x is equal to 232.87 nautical miles south. So we've traveled 58.06 nautical miles east, 232.87 nautical miles south.